Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of PBJ TV. We are here with Shannon Hall from Dustbane. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to April 1st. Mother Nature is playing a joke on us right now here in Listowel because it's snowing.
Well, Mother Nature has been very good to us so far this year, but it is April, and this is the season where we typically start to see those changes. So hopefully she holds on to it. We don't see the typical April floods and some of the natural disasters that we start to see creeping up this time of year.
Very, very true.
Yeah, I wonder just how much of that is an impact of what we humans are doing to the planet.
Exactly. Exactly. And what a great segue into the fact that not only is it April, it's Earth Month. We've got Earth Day this year. So there are so many reasons that Dustbane is here with us today, you guys. And mainly it's because of all of their efforts of sustainability, their eco-friendly product line, and the fact of that they are giving back to our environment at the same time. So let's kick it off with that. Let's talk about Give Meaning to Your Cleaning and the Madagascar project. What is that?
Yeah, Give Meaning to Your Cleaning has been a lot of fun. It really started off with our founder, Chester Pickering, and his foundation that he built. So just to take you a step back in time, when Chester was a teenage boy, he was actually homeless. So what he did was, in order to go and get food, he would go out and do chores at different people's homes in order to collect food. But he always felt that he could do a little bit more for others than they could actually do for themselves. So the way that he did that was just like a true salesperson that would go out and make that extra sales call every day. He would go out and do those extra chores in order to bring back food to the other homeless people. So knowing that that was our founder and that was the foundation, we really wanted to incorporate his strengths and what his values and missions were into the business going forward. So that kind of kicked off the feel for Give Meaning to Your Cleaning. And as we started to look at what does that program really mean, well, we wanted to incorporate into the program our purpose. So being a purpose-driven organization, we wanted to find ways to give back to people, be more sustainable, and ensure that we're impacting the environment in the best way possible. So some of the ways that we were able to do that was through our project, as you mentioned, in Madagascar. So we're planting trees with every Ecologo hard surface cleaner that's purchased. We're planting a tree on behalf of you or on behalf of your customers. So it's been an amazing journey. We started this in approximately November 1st, 2019. And I believe as of today, we're at about 160,000 trees planted. So that's amazing. And thank you to the team at PBJ and your customers for joining in on our Give Meaning to Your Cleaning to be able to deliver that value back. But the program is so much more than just planting a tree. Because what does that actually mean? Mm-hmm. When you plant a tree, not only are you offsetting some of the carbon footprint, but doing this with the folks in Madagascar, what we've been able to do is partner with Eden Reforestation, and they're a great organization. And this was ways in which they could help in an area where there's a high amount of need and impoverished villagers find a way to create a living wage for them. So they work with the villagers in that area to manage this forest and manage the reforestation project. So right from seedling into building that entire forest, I can't wait until we hit 2025 and that we've actually hit the 1 million trees that together we will have planted. It'll be an exciting journey.
Amazing. So that's the goal, 2025, 1 million trees.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're on our way. And as a team, we're going to get there. But seeing what that is doing, we have an amazing relationship with the Eden Reforestation Group. So we get regular updates as to how this program is impacting some of those villagers and their families and helping get education for children in that area, or clean water, or food, or things that in Canada we have a little bit of a touch point with, but not to the extent that they see in countries like Madagascar. And just what they're starting to see with the amount of trees that are growing, what that's doing for the environment around them, from sustaining the shorelines, the animals that are repopulating and regenerating within that area. It's an incredible journey they're on, and we're so thrilled to be part of that and have our partners join us in being part of this journey.
That's incredible. I mean, speechless a little bit, because not only is it just the planting of the trees for the environment and the sustainability, and we're seeing the wildlife come back and the assistance to Mother Nature, but then there's the assistance to the villagers and those people of Madagascar who really do need our help. And by doing something that's changing the earth and changing the world, it may seem like something so little, but it's such a big thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we often get questions as to why we are planting trees in Madagascar versus Canada. And it's truly the impact that we can have overall through this program versus what we were able to achieve in Canada. We're able to plant a lot more trees in Madagascar and have a larger effect on more people. And really, the world has no borders when it comes to air and the oxygen that we breathe. So I think that's a really important attribute that people realize, is you can do good locally and you can do good throughout the world, no matter what size your company is, who you are as an individual, or what you're able to achieve. We can all make a difference in a moment. And that's what Give Meaning to Your Cleaning is all about. So just like when we partnered last year on taking care of the shelter at Listowel and making sure that through COVID, we were able to donate some cleaning supplies, but also taking a look at the holistic picture of that and being able to provide board games and chocolates and different things to help the kids that were in that shelter just have a brighter day. And I think, those little moments and acts of kindness are such a big part of what all of us are focused on doing. And it's an amazing journey to watch and see how the world is changing.
It's absolutely beautiful. That's kind of why this year for 2021, we launched the project PBJ Cares. So this month we are obviously focusing on environmentally friendly products, our carbon footprint and all that. Now, customers are going to want to know, hi, I want to get in, I want to plant a tree. Which eco logo product from Dustbane am I going to be purchasing that's going to have a tree planted in Madagascar?
Well, there's quite a few actually. It's all of our hard surface cleaners. So you've got Azure, you've got Film Away, you've got Polar. They're all part of that program. So there's 7 different SKUs that are part of the Buy When We Plant one. And it really complements the entire line. But the tree part of it is one part of the Give Meaning to Your Cleaning. There's also the acts of kindness. But then when you think about using Ecologo product, as you mentioned earlier, looking for ways to reduce your carbon footprint, what's also being demanded in the marketplace today is that we find a way to reduce the use of single-use plastics and also repurpose them. So when you think about an Ecologo product, if you look at Azure, this is going to make 41 of these 4-liter jugs in ready to use. That's an awful lot of bottles saved from going to the landfill. So a really nice way to think about a little bit differently how you can all take part in reducing a single-use plastic. Now, we know that those plastics are always going to continue to happen, but we're always finding ways to reduce them. So at Dustbane, one of the ways that we looked at how can we also have an impact is by repurposing some of those single-use plastics. So for instance, all of our pads are made out of recycled water bottles. Our DV3 vacuum is made out of 75% recycled plastics, and our sweeping compound, which everybody's known and loved for over 113 years, the container is actually made out of the recycled plastics out of your blue bin in Ontario to create the container, which is also used as a garbage can. So it looks very similar to a typical brute container, and people can reuse that and repurpose it. So it's not only looking at the chemistry of the product, which is safe and better for the environment, it's also looking at the packaging solutions that go along with it. So one of the new products that we've just launched is our Clean Bright pad. And one of the advantages is it's going to last 5 times longer than your traditional pad. So
Wow.
made out of recycled water bottles. But the beauty of it is because it cleans and brightens the floors in one pass, you don't need any chemical to go with it. You just use water. So even though we're a chemical manufacturer, we do find solutions where chemical's not the only answer. So this is a great way for those that are looking for an alternative solution to be able to brighten their floors when sometimes redoing your floors or putting down floor finish, you just don't have time, you don't have the means, the manpower to do so. You can brighten and polish your floors in one pass. So some really nice, unique ways that we're trying to look at things just a little bit differently when it comes to the environment.
That's incredible. Now, my question, and a lot of people who aren't familiar with green certified eco logo products, what makes a product have the certification of it being eco logo, green friendly, or environmentally friendly?
That's a lot of different statements all in one question because there are a lot of myths around that, right? There's a lot of products that are stamped that this is green, and what does that mean? So when it comes to something that's eco logo certified, that's not just designed by the manufacturer. That's a third party certification that's gone through to make sure that we've got no VOCs in the product, that they are using food grade colors, so something that isn't as harsh in the environment from a color standpoint, but most importantly that we see in Canada and especially in government facilities, that they're scent free. So there's a lot of programs where those attributes don't matter. They're not part of the eco logo or out of their marketing program certification. We're also bench tested against the performance to make sure that the product is going to perform clean and do its job better than its non-eco logo counterpart. So that is something that is continuously tested. It's not a one-time test and you go, okay, well, that's great, it's passed. No, we're continuously tested to make sure that we're always improving and doing a better job when it comes to sustainability. So some different unique factors that go into that, but that third-party certification really matters. It's not just someone putting a stamp on something and saying, yeah, well, it's good for the environment because it's reduced packaging. There's a lot of different pieces that go into that. For instance, it's also the temperature of the water that you're using. So that's an energy savings. If you're using room temperature water versus hot water for a product, then you've got energy savings. So these products have to be compliant with that and need to work best with room temperature water versus something that's used with hot water that's actually going to burn the chemicals and cause the vapor to go into the air, which then becomes another challenge from an air quality perspective. So a few different nuances that really go into that to make sure that it's not just the packaging we're looking at, it's the product and the impact on the environment. Also needs to be biodegradable in less than 30 days. So something else that's really important when you're looking at your sustainable solutions.
Perfect. So I did my homework. I did my research. I was on Dustbane's website. I was going through all the eco logo products. There is literally something head to toe, ceiling, wall, glass to floor. What are some of the products that customers have come back and said, I can't believe you have this in an eco logo product?
You know, the most interesting one that most people don't find in an eco logo program is actually Doodle Buster. It's a graffiti remover, and it's pretty amazing. When you think about something that's going to be able to remove paint, remove solvents without having any solvent or harsh chemical in that, and do it fast and effective without heavy VOCs, that's a really unique attribute to have in an eco logo program. So that one's pretty unique. The other one that we get a lot of interest around is probably our Timeout Plus. So when you think about traditional stripping of floors, it's a long, tedious process. It takes a lot of chemicals, and there tends to be high odor. So you really need to have a building empty in order to do that from a health and safety perspective. Whereas when you're using an eco logo product like Timeout Plus, your dilution rate is dramatically different. So versus 1 to 4 in a traditional product, you're at 1 to 20. So the dilution rate really matters, but it's scent free. So you're not having those harsh VOCs or toxic scents that people really get impacted from when using this as a wet strip product. So that one's pretty unique as well. Film away is always really popular because of the versatility of the product. So not only is it a great all-purpose cleaner, it's actually pH neutral to 7.5. So water being 7, if you think about that, and this is 7.5 that has extraordinary cleaning power without having a high pH to it, which is incredible, but works amazing on both hard surfaces and soft surfaces like carpets to remove any of your salt or your neutralizer or any of those winter rinses that you need, but something you can use all year round. So if you're looking for something that could help you reduce your SKUs, that's a great way to also think about from an environmental perspective. You don't want to have more inventory than you need or too many products. Like if you had everything that was on our table and I was to come in and do a site survey, I would probably showcase how you could reduce, the 30 chemicals that are here down to 4.
Exactly.
That are really going to get the job done. So that's where, working with professionals like yourselves, we can help support you and your team members to go in and do those site surveys and really take a full picture of someone's facility and find ways that we can help them reduce their environmental impact.
That's awesome, because there's government incentives, there's personal incentives. Everybody wants to make a difference. Everyone wants to move forward in the world. And this is a great place to start. Now, I also know you guys sent me over, it is the Target series.
Yeah.
So what is that, and how are those ones all similar to the VAC that we spoke about earlier, made with recyclable materials? How are they part of the eco-friendly program?
So they're a little bit different. They're not Eco-Logo certified, as most equipment is not Eco-Logo certified. That is a UL standard that's generally related to chemicals. However, they do have CRI certification, which is the Carpet and Rug Institute certifications, to be able to ensure that you've got different levels of volume. So you want to make sure that you've got low decibels. That's really important from an environmental perspective, because noise is also part of what's impacting someone's work environment. So they look at that. They look at air quality control, making sure that there's no dust coming out of those vacuums. So the targets are slightly different than the DV3. The DV3 is a smaller canister vac, really designed for that everyday application, where a Targa is a little bit more rugged. We've got it in both wet and dry. Most of the series is a wet dry vac. And then we've got our smaller 330 that is dry only, but they're really designed to be that canister vac that's going to work for the long term. So if you think about it, we've got 10-year warranty on the body. And if I was to kick that across the room, it wouldn't dent. There would be no problems. Beautiful part of it is the Shepherd casters don't allow it to tip over. It's just an all-around great quality product. I laughed. I was at home the other day and I was looking at my vacuum inventory, because it's normal that most people have vacuum inventory in their home. But I said, well, this is kind of silly. I have a fast track vac for my stairs. I have a tracker upright vac for my hallways and my carpets and hardwood. Then I bought my son a DB3, so he's got that for his apartment. I've got a Target out in the garage that we use. Who needs to have that many vacuums? Apparently it's just me, but we've got a whole host of vacuums at Dustbane to meet every need. And apparently I feel like I need to have all of them at home.
They're fun.
They are. No one can complain that they don't have a vacuum.
Exactly. Nobody complained that there's never nothing to do when there's that many vacuum options around.
That's right.
Now, what I'm hearing too is not only has Dustbane taken into consideration our physical environment with Mother Nature, you're taking into consideration work environments as well. So you spoke about the decibel levels of equipment. Yes, whether you're the user or whether you're just in the workspace in the office, that is going to have an impact on you as well. And all schools pretty much these days are scent free anyways. The majority of large workspaces are scent free due to allergies. So I think that's amazing. Like thinking outside the box when it comes to the terms of environment. It's not just the earth you guys are looking to take care of. It's the workplace environment as well.
It's really creating those clean and safe spaces that are going to be so important to people's health and safety. And as we think about right now, there's so many buildings that have been closed for a long period of time or have had less folks going through their facilities. As people start to come back to work, there's going to be a lot of different pieces that are going to have to be taken a look at, whether it be their water sources and sitting water that have been in their taps and their drains, and dealing with some of those challenges. If you think about, when you go into a washroom and you get hit with that pungent smell that's coming out of the drains, and most people don't know how to deal with it, a great option is you need to keep those drains need to be wet. So having water in those drains is really important, that it's fresh water to keep reducing any of that odor that's going to come out. But using a product like BioVac, which is one of our Eco Logo products, is going to help, as the enzymes are going to eat those organics, to make sure that we're keeping that air clean that's coming out of that drain. So different ways that we're going to have to think about returning to work and some of those other risks and hazards that may not have been associated with a building when they're highly populated.
Now, the one thing I'm curious about, that I'm guessing others would probably hopefully be curious about as well, what kind of wait time and sit time are we looking at when it comes to an Eco Logo disinfectant? Because we're not using harsh chemicals like a bleach and different things like that that are in your standard disinfectants. So what kind of kill time are we looking at with these products?
Yeah, so it varies by disinfectant what the dwell time or contact time or kill time is required for any product. When it comes to our Eco Logo products, they are a standard general purpose disinfectant. So they're designed to kill most common bacteria, viruses, and funguses, as well as mold. So with the Health Canada monograph, in which those DINs are registered under, the contact time is 10 minutes, and that's to get to complete disinfection. So you will see some of our non-Eco Logo products that may have multiple different claims and different times, like disinfects, where it could be anywhere from sanitizing in 5 seconds to disinfecting in 30 seconds, being effective to kill COVID in 2 minutes, but then effective against parvo, which is the hardest to kill, in 5 minutes. So you really need to understand the risks and hazard associated with the types of disinfectants that you're choosing and what is the contact time for the actual application, and really walking through that. That's another great opportunity to have an expert like yourself or the Dustbane team come in and do those site surveys and help your customers understand what some of those risks that they might have in their facility that they might not be thinking about, because today we're so focused on COVID.
Now, because they're eco-certified, they're green, they're environmentally friendly, people automatically think that means that all the harsh chemicals have been removed and we're working with more of a natural-based product. Does that make them food surface friendly?
In some instances, yes. Now, a lot of chemicals can be food safe, but you've got to follow the instructions. And that's the most important piece, is if your label says rinse with potable water on food contact surfaces, that actually means you do need to rinse on a food contact surface with potable water. Go figure, follow the instructions. But that is a really important step that most people don't realize. When they look at something that says it sanitizes, they're assuming that's safe for food contact surfaces, but not all sanitizers are rinse-free. And that's the same with an Eco Logo product. Just because it's better for the environment, safer for the worker, using a lot less chemicals. So when you think about the dilution rate, that's where you see, it might only be 4 ml of product going into a 1 liter bottle of water to get you to that proper dilution for the application. But that doesn't mean that you don't need to rinse. Again, it depends if it's a food contact surface or any other surface. Really, it's going to depend on your application. So do you need to rinse? The answer is sometimes.
So always make sure to read the instructions, know what it is that you're cleaning, what are you looking to do, and then we're going to find the best product for you if you're looking to go green. Because as you can see behind Shannon, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of different options, and I can tell you already, I know at least half of them are sitting on our shelves right now. And if they're not, we can have them ordered easy peasy lemon squeezy for you. So
that's perfect.
We've mentioned a few different ones that are on the table, but just to kind of let everyone know, I mean, it ranges from hand soaps to body washes and shampoos for in the gym. And then it ranges to floor cleaners, floor strippers, carpet cleaners. And you've got the doodle remover, you got your glass cleaner, you've got basic disinfectants, like, what am I missing? What else is there on there?
Well, the list goes on and on. You're absolutely right. So then you have your specific washroom cleaners, your specific bowl cleaners, things that you might not think about in an Eco Logo line, like you touched on earlier with the Doodle Buster and the Timeout Plus being something that you wouldn't tend to think of as an Eco Logo product. The other one is really how do I get rid of hard water and descaling? Like if you're in an area where there is a lot of hard water and you do see those calcium builds up, you're used to using, oh, I got to get out my heaviest acid to remove that. Well, you don't. So products like our organic, which is our restroom cleaner, it's a descaler. It works on any hard water and mineral buildup and does a beautiful job using organic salts versus a harsh acid to remove that. So you could use that as a periodic cleaner once you start to get buildup. And if you wanted to use something like Polar to clean your washroom for your regular cleaning, that would be a great way to do that. There's no reason why you can't use organic as your everyday restroom cleaner, but we often see people using that as a descaler in other applications. Just because it says it's restroom cleaner doesn't mean that you can't use that to remove the scaling that might be in your buffet table in a restaurant or your steam table in the kitchen, or even, your coffee decanters as they start to get built up. And that's a normal way of descaling. So think about all those areas where you are often descaling. If you're talking to someone in industrial, they're going to need to descale boiler areas. They might be needing to run something through their lines in order to get some of that buildup out. And those are some really unique and different applications that you could use one product for that people tend to think, oh, it says it's restroom cleaner, it's the only place I can use it. Absolutely not. These products are designed to be versatile, to use in so many different applications, in so many different ways, so that you can reduce the amount of SKUs you're carrying, which is going to help with your transportation costs, your carbon footprint, reducing your POs. There's a lot of different ways, reducing packaging, that we can help out to make sure that you're meeting those sustainable goals that you have for your business.
Now, one thing I want to talk about too before we go is dilution ratios. Now, some people think, oh, I'm going to make it stronger. It means it's going to work faster. It's going to work better. Like you said, that 4-liter jug there of Azure is going to get you 41 ready to use, perfectly diluted, ready to go spray bottles. Now, what happens if you over dilute a product or under dilute a product?
The beautiful part about an Eco Logo program is dilution matters. They won't work in often circumstances where if you were to use Time Out Plus, for instance, and you were to overuse it because you were used to using a traditional stripper, it's going to sit on the top. It's not going to blend with the water. It actually needs water in order for it to penetrate and do the job that it needs to do. So more is actually more work. When you think of it like that. So using Azure doesn't have any ammonia, it doesn't have any alcohol in it. So it's not going to dry. It's not going to dry fast the way that some of those traditional cleaners would work. So what that means is if you use more, you're going to be wiping longer to get the job done. So it's really designed with that whole aspect in mind of not only are we reducing the amount of chemicals, it's designed to reduce the amount of labor. So you really need to follow the instructions and the dilution rates as they're laid out. It is critical to performance.
Perfect. Okay, so let's do a quick wrap up of all the amazing things we talked about here today. So we have got the Madagascar project, which means basically there are 7 Eco Logo products there. If you buy them in the concentrated jug, Dustbane is going to plant a tree, and they are going to help the villagers of Madagascar as well with sustainability for their life. Then we have got the new floor scrubber made of recycled water bottles that you don't have to use chemicals with on your floor. You can just use the recycled scrubber bit. So the scrubber pad. We are going to save you some money that way. You're going to save money on using chemicals as well, and you're going to help the environment. Then we have got the Dustbane vac on the poster board there beside Shannon, made of yes, and it is made of 75% recycled materials.
Yeah,
perfect. And then when it's coming to our product line there, not only are they scent free, they are Eco Logo. They are gonna reduce the harsh chemical smell, so they're great in big facilities where you have no fragrance free, perfume, no perfumes, all that kind of fun stuff as well. Shannon, what am I missing? I feel like there's so much.
Well, the only other thing that I was thinking about, Caitlin, as you were talking is on the hand soaps. It's one of the largest spends that a customer would have is actually in their hand care program. And when you look at a traditional cartridge program, there's a lot of waste. People don't wait until that package is completely empty. They walk by, they see it's low, they change those out. So you traditionally see anywhere from 10 to 20% of the product is left remaining in that package. Well, think about it. When you go to put something in your recycle bin, they tell you need to make sure you rinsed all the food out. So that package is no longer recyclable if it's got 10 to 20% of the content left remaining. So there's not only a substantial cost to it, there's the carrying costs. You're using, a lot of shelf space to keep those cartridges versus something like Tradition Plus, which is our Eco Logo foaming soap. So a 4-liter jug, you're going to get quite a distance out of this, but this would be equivalent to a case of what you would have with your cartridge soaps, but you only have 1 bottle versus usually about 6 cartridges. So a major difference there that you see, and then the cost savings to go along with it, you're saving, I would say it's anywhere from around $15 to $20 for a cartridge, depending on the brand, whereas with per liter. So with our Tradition Plus, you're probably around, $7 a liter for the soap itself. So that's substantial cost savings to the customer and helping them reduce their packaging and not as many different transactions that they have to have. But when you think about a building that's being built today, there's not a lot of space left for storage. So finding ways to help reduce the amount of products on their shelves is really important, but making sure that those products are going to do multiple different applications or last them a lot longer so that they can reduce the amount of inventory that they have to carry or put into their storage. So that's a really important factor. We also have a new touchless soap dispenser that we've just launched because people do not want to be touching things today. And it is designed for bulk. So we've got it in both foaming and lotion. And we found this to be a really nice option for customers. Beautiful packaging on the inside, really easy to clean because most people don't think they need to clean out their soap dispensers, but lo and behold, you always should. And our products are designed when it comes to our hand care to have some preservative in them so you don't get that bacteria buildup that you find with a lot of the bulk soaps that are out on the marketplace that are relatively inexpensive, but they use salt as a preservative. So not only do you get cracking and drying of your hands, you go through a lot more product and you can get the bacteria growth. So we really designed this with the customer in mind, making sure we've got pearlizers in the soap that are going to help you to keep that moisture in your hands and reduce those trips to the dermatologist.
Exactly. We've all been there. I mean, with this past winter, people are washing their hands properly, which means they're washing their hands more than they were before. People are using hand sanitizer out in public now. So we do see the dry, cracked skin. So I have gotten great reviews. A lot of our customers are on Tradition Plus or on the Tradition liquid soap, whichever it is that they prefer. I'm a foam soap kind of gal. You never know. Everyone's got preferences. So
a little goes a long way.
Exactly. It's so true. And that's what people keep forgetting. When it comes to automatic dispensers, you are now in control of product consumption as well, because I'll fully admit it, I'm guilty. I'm that person that walks through and I'm like, 10 feet of paper towel. Yeah, because I need it. 5 cups of soap. Yes, no. But for some reason, when I see the foam, I'm like, it already did the work for me. I'm good to go.
That's it. It makes life easier.
Product consumption as well now in control. So Shannon, I can't thank you enough for standing up and talking with me today, showing me all these amazing products. I'm so excited to get them into our customers' hands. We have got all the information on all these products. You guys are always so helpful when it comes to helping us with our customers as well. I can't wait to have you on hopefully again this month. We'll catch up and see where PBJ's at maybe with planting some trees and getting those products out there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Caitlin. We have really appreciated the time that we get to spend with you when we get to do these podcasts. That really the business that we've been working on with PBJ, you guys have been great partners. So thank you very much for all of your support, and to your customers for being part of our story and part of the journey and how we can make the planet just a better place for all people.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing. We only have one home, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't plan on sitting on a spaceship for 25 years to get to Mars.
There we go. There we go. But that is a vacation we could probably plan for.
Exactly. I think by then we should all be vaccinated and we should all be good in 25 years.
Don't tell me that. I need to travel sooner rather than later.
Oh, I'm just happy to get back to sports games and concerts. So, and with
There we
products
go.
like Dustbane and equipment like Dustbane with sprayers and the microfiber, that's what's going to get us there, ladies and gentlemen. So, big shout out to Dustbane. We will definitely be talking later this month. Shannon, it was so good to see you, and thank you so much. And thank you to everybody at Dustbane.
Have a good one. Thank you very much.